Robert Gibson is waiting to find out whether he will be prescribed Prozac to treat his selective mutism. But right now, his mind is on other things.
Today I've just been made captain of the school football team, and I'm just really glad. And the only reason I was made captain of the school football team is because I scored 4 goals, and it would be easier if I could speak because I have to use signals to tell people what I want them to do. Like, that's run forwards, point forward is run forwards, and then like hand up in the air is pass, and then just kick is shoot, and that's all the signals. So it would be really useful to not have to do that, and just speak, just shout at them.
Robert is desperate to overcome his phobia, but before he can start treatment, he has one last appointment with the psychiatrist.
Thanks.
Dr. Seaton Brown is keen to make Robert and his father aware of the potential problems.
The likeliest side effects you're going to get if we start you on something will be one of these sort of headaches for a day or two. Tends to go away after a couple of days. Some people feel a bit sick. Some people get very sweaty and a runny nose and things like that. Sometimes your heart can speed up. But they don't say did anything really horrible to anybody. But we need to start very slowly, because they can make people feel worse before they feel better with anxiety, with worry. And also, you're 9. Big things in the formularies, it's not recommended under 12 years old.
To prescribe medication for people in a situation where it might be helpful and might bring around quite a significant change in their life and stop their development being hindered is probably a good thing. But I think it needs to be done cautiously and thoughtfully. There has been worries about the group of drugs that Prozac belongs to causing aggression, suicidal behaviour, suicidal thinking in young people. But that has mostly been when they've been treated for depression, and it has to be borne in mind. But so far, Prozac seems to be relatively safe.
The biggest problem is it might do nothing. But what I would hope it will do is suddenly you finding yourself less worried, able to talk, able to do more, because you feel like it.
You're a bit slightly worried or not? No. Yeah, you don't mind feeling a bit funny if it makes a difference, but you've got to do a bit as well, didn't he? He said, he made that quite clear, didn't he? It's not going to be something like Harry Potter's magic and suddenly you start speaking. You've got to feel that you want to do it as well. Certainly with the football captaincy coming up, I think this is a perfect opportunity.
Robert will be on Prozac for 9 months.
That's great. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Robert isn't depressed. His problem is to do with anxiety. And by reducing it, the drug may be able to release him from his crippling phobia.
Well, we don't measure that because we've got to use that to suck it up. Right.
You know.
Do that.
Oh, not really. I'll do.
Well, it doesn't taste.
Oh, that's really minty.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Look, let me. Do you want me to do it?
No.
Right, well, hurry up then. Come on. That's it, well done. Okay, now. Okay. Alright, that's brilliant, well done. Put it down. Well done.
Oh, that is
Right,
so
well,
disgusting.
it better work then, doesn't it, now? If you find it like that, you've got a few more days of that to go.
Oh.
Madeline's treatment started weeks ago. But the sliding in process isn't working, and she remains trapped in her silent world.
So Madeline, who is this? Is this Daddy or Mummy? Is this Daddy? This your Daddy? And he's wearing a t-shirt, isn't he, I think? He's got long legs, your Daddy, hasn't he? That's good for riding a bike.
In an attempt to break the deadlock, Madeline's mum is contacting Maggie Johnson, the speech therapist who wrote the manual. She's hoping Maggie will be able to give her some answers. Maggie Johnson has been working with selectively mute children for over 20 years, and she's offered to come and see if she can help Madeline.
I gather she's got this wonderful personality and bounces around the place and is full of beans, but she can't be happy with being silent. She's getting a lot of attention in other ways, but she must be very, very confused. Why is it that everyone else can talk and you can't? Hi Rosie, I'm Maggie. Thank you very much. Oh, now a head short. Yeah, I think we better start him again, don't you?
Pulled his head off.
Well, what we better do is lift him up with the knife next time. Your voice comes out beautifully when you're at home because everything is just nice and how you like it to be at home. But what happens to lots of children is that when they go out to different places, they get really worried. And the funny thing is, it's not their voices that they're worried about, it's everything else they're worried about. It's like when you go to a new place you've never seen before, it looks so different. It's actually a little bit scary because you're used to it all looking like it does at home. And what happens is that children go into new places and they get so worried they're going to do something wrong. They get so worried that maybe they might get told off or something, that their whole body goes all kind of tight and worried. And do you know what happens when you're really tight and worried? Your throat gets tight and worried and your voice can't come out. And that's what happened to you, darling. And that's what has happened to lots of children I work with. They've got the most beautiful voices, but when they were little, they went into different places and they got worried about the other places, and they got so worried their bodies got tight and then their throats got tight and their voices wouldn't come out. And poor them. But it's okay because we know how to put it right.
I felt Madeline was really brave. I know how she was feeling because I could feel her when I was sitting with her like that. Her heart was just racing, it's absolutely racing away, and she was hanging on to my hand, and then she started to take really deep breaths, like to try and calm herself down. So the fact that she sat there and listened to Maggie explaining about how children felt when they found it difficult to talk, I thought that was really a big step for Madeline.
Maggie thinks it might be helpful to show Rosie how sliding in can work, but Madeline is refusing to take part.
Right, there we are. Ram. Oh no. Oh, lamb.
Maggie decides to go ahead anyway, with Madeline's sister as a stand-in.
Oh, aren't you a lucky girl? Okay. Well, should I call you Ellie or should I call you Madeline?
Ellie.
All right. Okay.
As soon as I started to do it with Ellie, Madeline came in the room and she gradually came round until she was sitting right by me, and I knew she really wanted to play.
So we'll put repeat with Madeline. All right, I'll shut the door.
Even though Madeline knows she's being overheard by a stranger, she does something she's never done before.
Right, you have to say the word. 1, okay, you're girly.
She speaks out loud.
2, 3. I didn't hear that one, Madeline. 4.
How did you get on?
She did really well.
You are such a clever girl, Madeline.
Really well.
Well done. Let's pop the sticker on.
She did speak, and she knew that that Maggie was outside of the room. I felt that was such a big step, I really did. I was really pleased that she did that.
But we're going to give you some rules. First thing is we're going to try and keep the ball below head height. So we don't want it.
Robert's been taking Prozac for a month, and he also seems to be progressing. As captain of the football team, he wants to be able to give instructions to his players.
We're trying to encourage him to communicate verbally. Now, at the moment, he is starting to make sounds on a football pitch, indicating he'd like the ball being passed to him. But we have talked about the fact that he needs to be choosing the positions for the children to play in. And so we're some way of getting him in a situation where he has to organise this.
I think if he can get himself lost in the football and it goes well, so I mean obviously if he can score a goal, I'm hoping that he can say something.
I think we heard one or two sort of little yelps from him of delight as he was celebrating his goal scoring. But no, I think it's been a good experience for him, and hopefully we can take it on from here and we'll see what happens.
Robert's scored 4 goals, and although he hasn't said a word, he has managed to make noises on the pitch for the first time.